Hello, and welcome to Freelancer. This is a 2003 game published by Microsoft and developed by Digital Anvil, which is made up of many people who worked on the Wing Commander series back in the 90s. This is a space combat game. Basically, you just fly around, shoot at people, trade between planets and whatnot. It's pretty simple in its premise, and it can get pretty deep within, but for the most part, it's actually an easy game to play, and it's actually a lot of fun. Now let's go ahead and get started.
Roger that. All systems show green. SA-14, you're cleared for departure.
Acknowledge, Freeport 7. We'll see you in about 2 weeks.
Now in this opening cutscene, we will see some serious shit go down.
Contacts on long-range sensors. We're dispatching a fighter wing to escort you out of the system. Godspeed.
Navy Command, this is Freeport
And the
7.
music just got ominous, so you know it just got serious. Oh, and see these purple things? They'll factor a big, very important part in the story, and they'll be a very important pain in the ass. I have to say, this is actually a pretty impressive explosion for a 7-year-old game. Anyway, that base we just saw explode was called a Freeport, basically a neutral base that anyone could dock on regardless of reputation.
President Jacoby has asked the LSF to investigate the sudden destruction of Freeport 7.
The LSF
no
stands for
word yet on
Liberty
whether it was
Security Force.
accidental or a deliberate attack.
Liberty is one
The
of
first
the
handful of survivors arrived on Manhattan
major
this
governments
morning.
in this game. Anyway, this is your character, and as we pan up, we find out he's a wannabe Han Solo. Tries to do a Superman pose, fails, and we move
We're
on.
here for medical. Is there anyone seriously injured?
One. Inside.
I really should have paid attention to that wet floor sign.
Make sure he lives. He owes me some credits.
Your concern is touching. We'll do everything we can. It may take a while.
Little do people know that actually at medical school there's a class specifically for sarcasm.
Officially, the Liberty Security
that.
Force maintains there is no proof
So
Freeport 7's destruction
ominous
was
and
deliberate. But
mysterious,
sources
right?
inside the LSF say they suspect the dangerous criminal organization, the Order. We will
The
keep
Order?
you up to date as the story develops.
What's the order, you ask? We'll find out later in the story, but as of right now, it's not too important, because right now we're going to go over the basics of the game. First off, it's going to pop up with this several times over the next few videos because it assumes I'm brand new. Anyway, this is the launch pad. This is where your ship would normally stay if you had one. This icon represents the bar. You go to the bar to get jobs, find out rumors, and possibly spend money you don't need to spend. Commodity trader, that's where you buy goods like oxygen, titanium, well, actually I'm not even sure titanium's in the game, but various metals and all that stuff, and sell them as well. You can play the stock market, making certain trade routes, and actually get quite a bit of money. Equipment dealer, this is where you buy things for your ship like guns, thrusters, shields, and whatnot, so that it's harder for you to die. And of course the ship dealer, which is where you'd buy a ship. However, the problem with this is as of right now, we have only 500 credits, which is nowhere near enough to buy a ship. Anyway, this is where your inventory would be if you had any. This is for your neural net log. This is where you find your current objectives, and as well as a little journal talking about stuff you've been doing throughout the story. This is all lead up to the intro video we just saw. It's basically about the main character, how he just went off to go forward his own destiny and whatnot. Went to make a deal to transport some stuff worth 1 million credits. Shot down the drain by those big glowy purple things. This is where you see things like your stats and your reputation. Reputation is where how you stand with various factions. Like right now, the only faction we've actually encountered is Liberty Police. Right now we're friendly with them, which is why we're green. If we're hostile, they'd be red and the bar would be over here. We'll see more factions as we play the game. Stats like current level, because you level up to a max level of 30. And the initial game, what you have to do is every other mission you have to do a story mission to level up, and then you have to do a mission where you just take odd jobs. And this will show information where we currently are. This just shows like basic planetary stuff, and then it shows what ships they are selling, what commodities they're selling, what commodities they're buying, equipment they're selling, as well as a basic paragraph about the history of the planet you're on. Currently we're on planet Manhattan, as I said earlier, which is the capital of Liberty. And this is the New York system where planet Manhattan is. All these lines represent trade lanes, which are basically fast-moving lanes to go through, so it doesn't take 5 minutes to get anywhere. And this is the overall sector. We got the 4 political houses: Liberty, Bretonia, Kusari, and Ryland. Each one represents a certain faction that was on Earth, including the US, Britain, Japan, and Germany. These are the factions that made it off Earth. So anyway, let's at least watch the first cutscene. Actually, the next cutscene. Now I have to say, for the most part, the voice acting is actually pretty good. Although when you're going around talking to people in the bar on your own, the voice acting can falter quite a bit and sometimes get downright hilarious.
A Sidewinder Fang.
All we have is Liberty Ale, friend.
Fine.
What kind of bar only has one drink anyway?
Her name's Junko Zane. She's a tough one.
Oh, why's that?
She's LSF. All business. If it's a job you're wanting, that is. On the other hand, if you're looking for something more...
Well, the only thing
Right.
I'm looking for right now
More.
is this drink.
I know you.
No, I don't think so.
They never proved
The
anything in
news.
the court.
I saw your face on the news. You're one of the Freeport 7 survivors, aren't you?
Right. Of course, that's what
Yeah.
you're talking about.
I heard it was pretty bad out there. You know, you're lucky to be alive.
Ha.
This one's on me, friend. It's the good stuff.
Why?
Because it's not every day a man has the chance to start again, huh? To your good fortune and liberty, sir.
Well, it can't get any worse.
No one should ever say it can't get worse or can't
Thanks.
get any worse or anything like that, because when you say that, it's going to get worse, because Murphy's Law is always listening, and he likes to kick your ass. Anyway, more nonsense. An odd thing, that bartender we're talking to, he's gone. Instead, we got this guy in a tuxedo or whatever. Anyway, in a bar, you can talk to people, get current rumors and whatnot. See, when they have the bubble, that means they have a rumor. Empty means they're not going to talk to you. That little star means a story, and sometimes they'll have briefcases over their head, which means they have a job, or a dollar symbol, which means they can alter your reputation without actually you having to do anything, except the thing is, it costs a lot of money, often to the point where you can actually buy a ship with how much they're charging. This is the job board. Right now there's nothing there because we don't have a ship. This is where we find news. Put
All
with
the
a
news
smarmy
that's fit
little
for you.
intro
This is the
audio
Colony
thing.
News Service.
All this stuff, it changes as you go through the game until you reach the end of the story, and basically that's where it stays the same. Okay, let's see if I can get an example of some bad voice acting, because I'm running out
Hey,
of time.
Freelancer. So, what can I get for you?
What I need is some info. You got anything?
Never seen you here before. You new?
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
You hear
I've heard
that?
a rumor going around. Interested?
All right, keep going.
Okay, here's what's going
Some
on.
of the animations are awkward, like that thing that Trent just did where he pushed his hand to the side like that. He's pushing someone out of the way. I don't know what that's about. And plus, that was probably the dumbest he's ever heard when it sounds like when you hear them go, uh-huh, and they make that weird face. It's like, you just... Sometimes And the problem is, their voice acting, what they did was they kind of cut and swap stuff around.
Could be useful later. Thank you.
Very well. Be seeing
Anyway,
you.
those rumors sometimes are useful, sometimes they aren't. Usually they aren't. Anyway, I'm going to have to cut the video off here because I'm starting to run over. See you next time.